Hello, everyone, and welcome to our episode of The Untold. Today, I'm your host, Abdullah Hindiani. I'm joined by my colleague.
And I'm Lujaina Al-Athari, and today we have a special disability episode of The Untold with Ahmed Abouelseoud, who suffers from a case of spina bifida and is actually a disability advocate.
Yeah, honestly, the thing about disability is that it is such a monumental challenge to tackle on. And if you look at Ahmed's social media accounts, he's a man of inspiration. He's a man of so many, I would say, happy thoughts, happy ideas, motivation. Like you said, he's an advocate. He is an adventurous. He is into scuba diving. He plays basketball. So he's a very, I would say, honorable person to have here and a speaker of a group of society that I would consider not being spoken a lot, but they represent a large group of people. It's a topic that not a lot of people discuss, but every household has a family member who suffers from a disability in one way or another. So it's our great time on The Untold to devote such time to talk about it.
I agree completely, especially considering a lot of these people are actually more able than people think they are. A lot of people assume that just because someone has a disability, that they can't do things. But our guest today is going to show us how you can do everything you set your mind to and more.
Yeah, and I believe the audience are more eager to look at our guest instead of us, instead of us. So we are going to take a break and come right back with him. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. But most importantly, thank you, our guest, Ahmed Abouelseoud, for joining us on The Untold for today's episode.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's wonderful to have you. And let's dive right in. What was it like for you growing up with spina bifida?
It's been like someone who is riding a roller coaster.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, like there are some moments that were very good and some of them they were very bad. Like I can remember one of the moments when I was applying for a job. I went to the interview and the employer was once they saw me in a wheelchair, they refused to continue the interview.
You're joking.
No, it
That's
happened.
terrible.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I was thinking, at least come see me, see my qualifications, talk to me, tell me, okay, we cannot hire you because of this, that. At least give me a chance. But after that, I started like, okay, then I decided that I need to be an advocate for the rights of people with disabilities. One of the good moments also that when I applied for a job, one employer told me that we were looking for a secretary, but yeah, we were looking for a secretary. And then I was like, okay, do you have a ramp? I was like, why? I was like, because I have a disability and I use wheelchair. I was like, I don't think so. I was like, we have steps. I was like, how many steps? I was like, 3. She was like, 3. I was like, okay, I can use my crutches. Then I went there and I saw there was a ramp in the other side, but she didn't know. And she said that I wanted to give you this opportunity because my sister has a disability. And this was my first opportunity that I started like working as a secretary.
I think I can speak on behalf of a lot of people, most people who are going to say, shame on you for the first employer, right? The one who, you know, told you to turn back because you're in a wheelchair. I think that's a very unacceptable behavior. But I'm also, that's also like two sides of the same coin. I'm so happy that you took that opportunity to bring awareness to the issue, right? To be an advocate. But I do want to go back a little bit more because we mentioned you've had spina bifida, but what is that condition specifically for the audiences, to be more aware?
It's a condition that happens when you are born, like there's like your spinal cord, there's a little bit of the spinal cord comes out from your back. After that, it affects the nerves and the lower body. So yeah, that's it.
So is the condition, does it happen, gradually or?
No, when I was born, just when
Oh, okay.
yeah. It's I think because it's lack of folic acid when women get pregnant, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot of people suffer, especially when they're born specifically. And some people can be diagnosed later,
Hmm.
but they may not have it as severe
Yep.
when I tried looking up to understand more about it.
Yes.
So, what would you say is like a message or something that kept you hopeful during the hard times?
Well, there is a quote I really believe in is like, whatever meant to be yours will be yours, and whatever is not yours, it won't be yours. So just believe in Almighty Allah, and everything will be just fine.
I'm a big believer in that.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's a great mentality to have, is that, we're all here for a purpose, and all of us, can serve that purpose. We've all had different challenges we've had to tackle. I'm so happy that, you have the, I would say, mental fortitude to take the challenges that were given to you
Mhm.
and advocate for them, bring awareness to them, talk about them, and which is more proof for your presence here with us, and this is, again, thank you from the team of the Untold
My
for your
pleasure, my
presence here.
pleasure, my pleasure.
Thank you. And with that in mind, I do want to ask you about your, whether you have inspirations or role models, because I know for a lot of people, they look for their peers. They look for people here to look up to. So do you have any of those?
Uh, I have a lot actually.
MashaAllah.
يعني for example I met Dr. Mustafa Atiyah. He's a blind person. I met him in the United Nations Development Program. He inspired me a lot, and he taught me a lot about the laws, the how to be an advocate for the rights of people with disabilities, and I learned a lot from him. And he started also his YouTube channel, where I got
MashaAllah.
the idea of also starting my own Instagram and YouTube channel to raise awareness, and to actually I thought about doing this for people without disabilities, but it turned out that also people with disabilities, they also need to know more about their rights and their what do you say? Let's say this. How they can be, how they can be great, or potential. Yeah, their potential in being a better person.
That's wonderful. And how do you feel knowing that once upon a time you looked at people for inspiration, but now you are the inspiration for people?
I don't want to see it that way. I just see that, okay, I want to do something to make this world a better place for everyone.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
So would you say that's the inspiration or the motivation behind being an advocate for disability? Because you've also mentioned you're gonna, pursue trying to bring awareness through YouTube and Instagram. So what's the inspiration behind, taking this role, this responsibility?
That's a very hard question. What do you think?
Honestly, I think awareness is a major, is a major source of inspiration.
Hmm.
Yeah, because a lot of the guests that we've had on the Untold who were bringing awareness to, topics that aren't discussed a lot, the main motivation behind all of them was awareness, especially because here locally, and not just Kuwait, but like the entire Arab region, there are, even though we have some topics and, subjects that are so popular and so, broad reaching, not a lot of people talk about it. Not a lot of people discuss them. Not a lot of people talk about what to do, how to, behave, how to be. It's
Hmm.
not discussed properly.
Yeah, because no one talks about it until they suffer from something
Yeah.
like disability or accidents or anything like that. Because also, having a disability since birth is not the same as having a disability after some time. Like, people get accidents, it's much worse for them, I assume. So it depends.
Well, yeah, it makes sense because if you had it from birth, you've kind of learned to adapt.
Yes,
But if it's
exactly.
something that you just got later in life, then you might struggle more to adapt, I think. And oh, go on.
Yeah, because I didn't think about disability until maybe my teens, because when you're a child, you just do whatever you can do, and you never realize that you are differently abled, as they say, until someone tells you. Like, for example, I used to go to normal schools. I used to use my crutches. I go up the stairs, third floor, play PE with my classmates. It was normal, until I turned to another school. They were like, no, he's disabled. I was like, what does it mean? I never heard this term before. I was like, my mom's told me, never mind, don't worry about it. And then I started to notice, oh, they are treating me differently. You cannot do this, you cannot do that. And then after that, we decided to go for a disabled school, or and then I met all kinds of disabilities with my classmates, and for me it was like, wow, there is a lot of us in this world. Yeah, and then after that, maybe I went to after graduation. Also, I faced a lot of obstacles in the university. There were like some holes that they are not accessible for people with disabilities. I had to change it to other places and stuff like that. So yeah, but eventually I graduated.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
alhamdulillah.
And I do want to ask you about something you mentioned briefly, is that people who have no idea about all these sort of topics and subjects, like what are some misunderstandings that society and people have about disabilities and people with disabilities?
They think having a disability is the end of the world. Like, it's not the end of the world. Like, disability can be a blessing. Like, for me, having a disability, it challenges me every day that I need to be a better person. I want to try new things. Like, I tried a lot of different things like scuba diving, basketball. I even was a part of a choir, singing. Like you can try a lot of things. And recently I started also playing volleyball, like sitting volleyball, like we're sitting and we play volleyball while sitting down in the floor.
MashaAllah. And I think finding people with different or similar disabilities helps you find a community to do these kind of things.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Actually, now I'm an advocate for that for the rights of people with disabilities. Actually, after graduation, I started, okay, let me try to raise awareness. I joined many non-profit organizations, even in Egypt, also in Kuwait and Egypt. I made a lot of connections all over the world. Yeah, to communicate and to know the struggles and to discuss how can we make the world a better place and accessible for everyone.
And so speak on, to further elaborate on that point, like what changes could be made to make it a more accessible world?
Oh. First of all, yeah, we need to remove the barriers. We need to change the stereotypes that people with disabilities cannot do this, cannot do that. No, just give them the chance to try. Also, the accessibility of services also. It's not only barriers or places to make people with disabilities to access. No, also, for example, I remember Fatma. She's a young girl with spina bifida. She went to one of the entertainment cities, and she was very sad that she couldn't play her peers. And she was like very sad and telling her parents that, no, I don't want to talk to you. This guy, he doesn't want to let me in and play in this game. I was like, it's dangerous for you, Habibti. I was like, no, I don't care. I want to play. Kind of these places should also think about people with disabilities. Like, we also want to go out, we want to have a good time playing, or going to the beach, or I don't know, like games everywhere. So we want to be treated equally.
And you should be, in my opinion, because we're all just people here.
Exactly.
And everybody has different abilities that they're good at or less good at, or physical issues. So it's not good to put people in a box, is what I'd like to say.
Exactly. Like, for example, I thought that if you asked me if I didn't have a disability, I feel like I wouldn't be able to do all this stuff I was doing, because for me, having a disability, I want to prove for myself first and other people that no, we can do it, no matter how we do it. We can do a lot of things differently. Like, for example, scuba diving. I never thought about being a scuba diver until I met Faisal Musawi, my friend. He was like, he had an accident and then he became a world, he got one Guinness record,
MashaAllah.
yeah, in diving, actually three. And so I was like, okay, if he did it, I can do it. Let me try. And then by coincidence, I was working in one place that it had a diving center, and I saw the coach, Ali Najada, Captain Ali Najada. I was like, Coach, can I dive? I was like, yeah, of course, why not? And then I was like, okay, let's try it. And then he introduced me to Captain Abdurrahman Al-Sharhan, and the rest was like history. Like,
Yeah.
and now I have like 3 license in
MashaAllah.
diving,
MashaAllah.
scuba diving. Yeah,
I really want to hear more about that,
sure,
but we're going to go on a short break,
sure.
and then I hope we can dive into this some more. Pun intended, I guess.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, and I believe before the break we got into a little bit of your sport activities and your adventures, and we got into your scuba diving, and you were talking about the experience off camera, but we do want to bring that conversation on camera. So, how was scuba diving to you? Talk us through it.
Scuba diving is like magic. Like, first I was introduced to scuba diving. I never thought about actually being a diver until I met Faisal Musa, my good friend. And then I was thinking about it like, Ahmed, okay, if he did it, why don't you do it? I was like, okay, let me put it in my bucket list. And then by coincidence, I worked in a place where there was a diving center. Then I met Captain Ali Najada, and I told him, can I dive? He's like, yeah, sure, you can. Why not? You know Faisal? I was like, yeah, he's my friend. He's like, okay, he did it, so you can also. I was like, okay, cool. When can I do that? I was like, okay, let me prepare it for you. And then he introduced me to Captain Abdurrahman Al-Sharhan. And then we started diving in the swimming pool. And then we started, like, for me, it was like a little bit challenging because you need to have a balanced trim in the water. So we tried different techniques until we got the good trim, and then we started diving in the ocean, like in Garo Island. It was amazing. It was like breathing under the water is amazing. Like you don't need any to think about holding your breath or something like that. It's way more than expected, like to see all the creatures under the water and all the amazing stuff, all the colors, and it's amazing.
It does sound amazing. I personally would love to scuba dive, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid to go very deep down. I get a bit claustrophobic. I've watched too many movies, I think, where bad things happen under the water, especially sharks. For some reason, they're in all the diving movies. And I think it influenced my anxiety too much. So, were you afraid, or how did you go about it?
Mm, Actually, actually, I got my eardrums injured twice,
Oh no.
but I still keep doing it because it's something like magical. Once you try it once, you'll never stop again. Like I also went to dive in Egypt in the Blue Hole. I saw a documentary about the Blue Hole, that it's very dangerous and a lot of people die there and blah blah blah. But when I went there, it was like one of the best dives I have ever dove in my life. Like it's amazing. Also the canyon. I saw a baby shark. I was like, oh, baby shark. It was something magical.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any appropriate time to sing that song, it's when you're actually watching a baby shark.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So would you say that dive in Egypt is one of the most unforgettable moments for you in
Of
terms of
course.
scuba diving, or is there another place that can top that one?
Also, yeah, in Egypt, because in Egypt I went to Dahab, I went to Marsa Alam, I went to the canyon, the Mashraba. Yeah, this is what I can recall now. But it's all of them are exceptional, especially in the night dive. It's amazing also to see the vibrant colors with having like lights on. It's something different, something magical.
I mean, it might be magical, but it sounds absolutely terrifying to me. You want me to dive in the dark now?
Yes,
It's
it's even better than the daylight. It's the colors there is amazing. You just see the mixed colors between two colors. Like you never think about yellow and blue to be together or something like that. It's something wow.
I have seen like a video that shows you how the colors change the deeper down you go,
Exactly, yeah.
and it's not what you expect at all. So it
Exactly.
must have been crazy seeing that in real life.
Yes, of course. Yeah, the blue, I think, or the red, like the blue comes green, and the red turns to orange, and some of the colors turns to gray, like this. But it's wow.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned the ears bleeding because I'm a licensed diver.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, and I also had the ear bleeding thing, the same as you. When I got back up, there was blood all over this place. And the funny thing is, you don't feel it down there.
Yes.
And the instructor was like, "What's happened to your ears?" I was like, "My ear is fine," but I could only hear from this. And I'm still saying my ear was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
but you
can't.
know,
Yeah, go on.
it's such a surreal experience when you're, scuba diving, and being underwater. The quietness is what I tell
Yeah.
people. The quietness down there is nothing, like
Yes.
nothing ever before.
Yeah, this is one of the favorite things. To just go there and you just listen to nothing, just the sound of the water. It's wow, the
Yeah.
quietness. And some people go there to just to like how you say this, like to how you say it?
Meditate.
Yeah, meditate, exactly. Like to meditate and to think about nothing and to stop the a lot of ideas that comes to your mind. Just to think about now.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just gonna say that, to comment on this point is that when you're hearing nothing but your breath, it
Yes.
puts you in a certain state of mind. It's like, okay, I can see the world now.
Yes.
I was gonna just say that both of you are actually talking about my worst nightmares. Like, I can only hear my breathing. It's dark. There's no sounds. There's no oxygen. You're deep underwater. You're not advocating for it very well, in my opinion. Bleeding ears. What are you guys talking about? You must be built differently than me. That's what I gotta say, because you're describing to me stuff that would terrify me, personally.
Not really. No, you should try it, then you will understand how it feels.
True, you can never knock something till you try it.
Yes, exactly.
But for now, so that my anxiety doesn't increase, let's move on to the other sports you might do maybe. Walk us through like what drew you to basketball and volleyball, was it?
Yeah. So starting with the basketball, it came by coincidence when I visited the Kuwait Disabled Club. Then I went there actually to a shop next to it to fix my wheelchair. And then I met one person who's like, "Why don't you come to the club to play with us?" I was like, I thought that it's only for Kuwaitis. I was like, "No, you can come and you can also play with us. What do you want to play?" I was like, "Okay, maybe power games or something like that." Then it's like, "Oh, the coach is not here. They traveled somewhere else. Would you like to play basketball?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. Let me try." And then the rest was history. And then I went with the team to South Africa and we took the second place.
Mashallah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
So, talk us through the preparations that go, before get into a match, the training side of things, like, how does all of this process goes like?
First of all, you need to know how to use the basketball wheelchair because it's different than this wheelchair because it's
Is it the one that goes like this?
exactly.
Because I've seen it, yeah. I've
Yes.
seen the Special Olympics because it usually airs after the Olympics, and I see their wheelchairs are like they triangle, they're really close by.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This makes it more faster actually, and there are no brakes. You just have to.
How do you stop or slow down?
You have to stop with your hands, like just stop the wheels, and then you can stop.
But that requires a lot of
strength, yes.
arm strength. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Mashallah.
Yeah, so then we usually we make our stretching at the beginning and then we do some warm-ups and then we do some drills like passing drills, basketball drills, shooting drills, all kinds of drills, and then we start a game. Yeah. we start again.
That's awesome. So do you think becoming an athlete has changed the way you view your disability?
Actually, it's very important to be an athlete especially when you have a disability, because you don't have time to get upset or sad, because sports always change your mood and makes you become more happy. Yeah, dopamine levels increases when you play some kinds of sports.
I mean, hopefully, you're always happy. You're a great advocate for the sport itself. But we were discussing briefly also on the break. You had a very, I would say tremendous and great experience while you were in Poland, talking about accessibility stuff instead. And then you had a little bit of ideas you wanted to share with us.
Yes, in Poland it was amazing for me because I didn't face any obstacles like w- cruising the roads, having accessible transportation, having accessible restrooms in public restrooms. Um, also, there are a lot of, like, even in the sidewalks, especially sidewalks, it was amazing for me to see like ramps everywhere. It was amazing because you no need to ask anyone to help you to go up the pavement, the what you call it, pavement, or
Pavement.
I
yeah,
think so,
pavement,
yeah.
yeah, or
The
yes,
curb.
yeah, also. So it's great to have these improvements actually.
That's wonderful. And you mentioned something off camera about something called universal building.
No,
What was that?
the universal design. Universal design is something like it should like all kinds of accommodation for all kinds of disabilities, like hearing disability, physical disability, intellectual disabilities also. This what we are trying to implement everywhere now, to have an accessible environment for everyone.
And honestly, I think it's great that you've devoted the time to, bring awareness to these issues and to be a speaker. And you've been a remarkable speaker on these issues.
Thank you.
You've been a wonderful guest for us here on the Untold. But, unfortunately, we have ran out of time. So I do want to thank you for joining us, talking to us, honoring us with your presence,
Thank
talking
you.
about all these issues.
My pleasure. It's my pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
It was wonderful to have you, and I'm glad that we could shed some awareness on this and show that everybody, if they set their mind to it, can do almost anything they want, depending on, I guess, life, you could say.
Of course, yeah.
So thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And that's all we have for today. Stay tuned for after the break.
And unfortunately, that's it from us, the team of The Untold. Brilliant episode. Ahmed was a very encouraging person. He was a monumental and a role model to talk about disability, to bring awareness to it.
I agree, and I love how the reason that he started it is because he himself didn't find enough people who were talking about the things he suffered. And he didn't even see himself as disabled until society labeled him that way, which I thought was really interesting.
It is interesting, and I love how, basically what he's asking seems like it's basically necessity, right? Just make it more accessible, whether it's in buildings, whether it's in infrastructures, whether it's in roads, just make it more accessible, right? And I think that's a good takeaway for audiences to get out of this episode with, right? Is they just want accessibility.
And I think that's not too much to ask for. He talked about something called universal design, which allows people who suffer from different disabilities to be able to access all areas in an easy manner, as they should, as everyone should.
Yeah, and hopefully we have done our role at the Untold. We brought awareness to this issue. Now it's up to the people, and that's it from us, the team of the Untold. Until the next one, goodbye for now.
Goodbye, and see you next time.